let's go. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go! Let's go! Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on. So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go. We are back. We are back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We are back. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good whatever, wherever you find yourself. Welcome back again to IoT Tuesday. It's been a long time since we went off air. Taiwan. Long, long time. Yes, we're back. We're back with some new brands, some new content, some awesome interviews, some crazy unboxing. It's exciting. I'm excited to be back on air. It's been a long time coming. Once again, welcome if this is your first time joining us after many, many, many months of as you can see, yeah, I have a bit of all the hair growth and stuff, looking a bit unkempt, but the show must go on. Welcome again to IoT Tuesday, your one and only show that demystifies everything IoT and AI. Thank you for making a date with us. Apologies for the late start. We should have started like 2 hours ago, but due to some some things that I had to take care of, we couldn't start exactly at 8 as promised GMT. But here we are on. Excited to be back. As you know, a couple of things I like to put out of the way before we get into it. But today's show is pretty much we're going to be talking about what's up for the for the channel the next coming weeks. The year is almost ended. Things to expect. I'll be talking about some announcements in the world of IoT across the ecosystem. And then we'll do a bit of an unboxing today. I've had some kits for a while that I had wanted to unbox on on the show, but because I was offline, we couldn't do that. Um, so we'll do that. But before we get into that, a couple of things. So myself and a bunch of MCTs across West Africa, technically across the African continent, we're organizing the annual MCT West Africa Bootcamp, the Cloud Bootcamp. This year's edition is going to happen from the 26th to the 28th of this month. That's just this weekend, the whole of Friday. I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the whole of this weekend. If you haven't registered, you need to go to mctwestafrica.com to register. mctwestafrica.com to register. Let's see if I can pull that up peripherally. If this is your first time joining us, please let's see you. You can just say a hi in the chat, whether you're watching us from Facebook, from WhatsApp, sorry, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Just say hi. And sorry about that. And then I'll be glad to welcome you into the show. If you have any questions, especially concerning the topic we'll be treating, feel free to throw that my way, and I will try as much as possible, to answer them. Because today quite interesting. We try to talk about something along the lines of the metaverse. But before we get into that, like I was saying, so MCT West Africa Cloud Bootcamp um, happening it's happening this weekend from 26th, 27th, 28th of November. They're going to talk about things in line of Azure, .NET, Office 365, Power Platform, and it's from 12 p.m. GMT plus 1, that's West African time, to 4 p.m. So from Friday to Sunday, make a date. For 54 sessions, 54 speakers, a lot of workshops. It's all virtual. The cool thing is that there are two Xbox. Xboxes to be won. So run out to make sure you find your way to www. Just go to mctwestafrica.com and then register for the event, and then you stand a chance of enter into the raffle and stand a chance of winning one of those Xbox boxes. Yeah. So with that out of the way, that's the only announcement I have. A couple of things that was of interest to me during Ignite. And as you know, Microsoft Ignite a couple of weeks ago, that's when I was planning to come back online. But then the things do not permit me. But a couple of things I just wanted to highlight in lines of what's happening in the world of IoT, one, and then also what's at stake for the show itself. So first of all, let's let's talk about what um, kind of like the 10 in the show. So one, there's there is some rebranding happening in behind the scenes. So which means that this logo you're seeing, this one is going to change um, because I'm trying to be a lot more open to different technologies, not necessarily what's depicted in the brand. Because if you look in the brand, you're seeing a Raspberry Pi. Those are like common. You're seeing Arduino there. You're seeing some Azure logo and stuff there. The plan is to be very open to encompass a lot of change. So that's going to the logo is going to change. And if you see any different logo, don't be scared. It's still IoT Tuesday. We're just doing some rebranding. The other part is that I want to bring in the AI portion of IoT into the show as well. So if you've been watching the show, we've been doing a lot of IoT, strictly IoT stuff. But what I plan to add to it now is to also bring out the AI side of IoT. So you're going to see a lot of AIoT, which is AI and IoT put together. So you're going to see a lot of that on the show. So that's in the next couple of episodes of the IoT show, you see a lot of some AI driven stuff. So you can see I have the NVIDIA Jetson Nano behind me, a couple of things as well. One of the kits I'll be unboxing in a few minutes. Um, Also has AI driven stuff into it, and then the Azure Percept and some other, AI driven. So, and this is leading towards a common discussion that's happening in the IoT ecosystem. One of it is how do we get um, a lot of people, even potentially non-coders, into IoT. That has been, one of the questions that, how do we make it very easy? So, I mean, welcome to the show if you're joining us. This is IoT Tuesday. Thank you for joining. Um, don't forget to, subscribe, hit the like button, share. What if you have any question concerning IoT? Today's topic is just a welcome back to the show, what to expect, in the show going forward, and then also um, today's specific conversation for the next potentially 1 hour also to talk about the role IoT plays in the digital world or the new so-called metaverse. So that's something that I'll be talking about in today's session as I'm doing unboxing and seeing how these things are linked. So if you have any questions, you can drop it in. I would try as much as possible to answer the questions you have about IoT in the metaverse or the metaverse and all that crazy stuff. I'll be doing an in-depth I'll be doing in-depth episodes on the metaverse and how IoT, but today is more like, welcome back to, the streaming stuff we're going to be seeing, changes and stuff like that. So back to the logo, or back to the rebranding. um, that means that we are going to be more accommodative to, the more open IoT and not to be brand specific. So tomorrow, if it's, microbit, if it's something else, we're going to talk about it. If we have access to it, we'll talk about it, we'll dissect it, we'll unbox it, and then we'll use it. So that's just something I want you to have, at the back of your mind. Then also I want to invite a lot of people to join in, maybe on my social, or I'll probably put together a Discord server so that we can have, the chat on WhatsApp, whichever works for you. I want to also take the show more interactive in the sense that sometimes, like, yeah, I pick on the topics, I pick on stuff, and I come and present, but it will make a lot, it will be more interesting if there's a lot of participation on what you want to see or questions about, hey, I've seen this stick. How does it work? Um, like what can I, how do we replicate the tech or how is it useful in regards to the ecosystem the way it is. So these are things I want to engage more with you. But leading to next year, which will be another season, so I'll be I'll be trying to, pretty much recap a lot of things we've done over the years, chipping in a lot of talk on AI and IoT and the metaverse and how the whole thing comes together. And then next year, when we will go more into how to position ourselves, in AI, all levels of experience, and how that taps into the technology of the future, especially AIoT, metaverse, and all that, right? So cool. Yeah. So with that out of the way, you might probably see, and in the next couple of weeks as well, you might see some changes when it comes to the ambience, the environment, and what you see. I'm trying to transition from the regular webcam to probably a DSLR, Core One, do some upgrades. You might probably now seeing a bench behind me. Yes, there's one 3D printer in there. That's one of the reasons why I'm saying we're rebranding to encompass a couple of things. So you might see some 3D printing side of things coming into maybe building a box or something for an IoT solution we're doing. You're probably going to see that as well. Um, there's a surprise coming in. I won't tell you. I'll probably tell you, show it to you Friday. Yeah, on the Demystify Tech. I'll unbox that on Friday. Hopefully, declare it out and then I can show you that on Friday. So make sure you come back to the channel on Friday for Demystify Tech. Now, so with the new branding and all that out of the way, um, one of the cool things that well, a couple of things happened at Microsoft Ignite, which I want to share my thoughts on. I felt they were interesting, and for that matter, I want us to um, explore that. So one of the things that, and it's all in line with this whole AI, tiny ML, running AI modules on the edge, tiny devices. So there's a lot of talk about tiny ML, embedded ML, and one company stands out with that, Edge Impulse. All right. So they've been able to run tiny ML on on the Wio terminal. We've done a whole series on the Wio terminal, so check out the channel if you want to see more. They put tiny ML on that. There's the AI infused on the edge on some devices that I'll show today when we go to the bench in a couple of minutes. And I think that is just fair enough to introduce this concept to people to know exactly, what this means when they talk about AI on the edge. What's the tooling? What does that mean? What's the benefit and stuff like that? So we will be talking about, that as well. Um, then, a lot of stuff when it comes to partnerships, especially in the metaverse and stuff like that. There's a lot of partnerships that's coming in. So we'll talk about that as we also move on. Now, one other thing I want to talk about is Arduino also has got official certifications out there. So if you're into IoT and you want to be, certified, you can take the Arduino certification. Microsoft also has a certified IoT developer certification you can take. You can also take that. That works, equally fine. So um, a lot of the talk, a lot of the um, you know, talking and all that. Let's let's spend some time to quickly talk about the metaverse, all right? The role of IoT in the metaverse. So I'm sure by now you've probably heard about the metaverse, thanks to Facebook, rebranding, transitioning to Meta and all that. Now, simply put, the metaverse is just a digital ecosystem, a digital world. If you don't know, that revolution has been underway for a while now. Um, you probably have already experienced part of pieces of it. If you play Fortnite, kind of gives you some idea into what to expect. If you've not, go check it out if you're a gamer. If you also watch Ready Player One, it gives you a more vivid look or more close resemblance to what the metaverse is, in the sense that we've exhausted the physical. Not that we've exhausted it, but we're moving from the physical into the into the digital or the metaverse or the omniverse, as depending on which brand or partner you're coming from. And this is just a replication of things that have been happening in the physical world, but in a more in the whole digital ecosystem. So which means digital currency, digital factories, digital businesses, digital properties, pretty much everything digital. Now, it opens up a whole array of opportunities, and I mean, obviously, would have its own downside and issues to think about. But let's focus on the positive side or the other side of it. It's a whole ecosystem on That means that people can live, you know, lives, their digital lives there, right? People can model or bring up companies, factories. It's just a model of the physical world in there, and that requires. It's just like imagine several, billion years when, human beings started colonizing, the earth to, you know, change things so that, the factory revolution, the industrial revolution. Now, we've come all the way to 4.0 and we're moving on. Imagine it that way in a digital world. However, in this space, these digital, objects or properties or stuff are only going to be replicated, are going to be replications of what exists in the physical as of now. All right. So there's also the concept of what we call digital twins, where there's a digital representation of physical assets. And yeah, Microsoft has no, not just Microsoft, I think IBM and a couple of other, cloud providers have their own digital twin things, especially in the era of IoT, where you can have a digital representation of your assembly plant or assembly line, right? Where you have that whole process, let's say your whole conveyor belt system or your whole engine, physical engine, digitally replicated in the digital world in the cloud, where you can actually sync data between the two, both the digital and the physical, and actually do predictions, do maintenance, do controlling and commanding of these, of this asset. It's a similar thing when it comes to the metaverse. Now, it provides a lot of opportunities, right? Now, where does IoT come in? Now, the link between the physical, right, and that digital, IoT plays a lot there. So the likes of, mixed reality headsets like the HoloLens, the Oculus, yeah, and we'll be actually also unboxing one of those on the show as well. Um, all these things are kind of like a portal into the metaverse, all right? And these are all devices that are smart. Now you're going to get to the time where they're it's actually in development right now, where we have meta suits or digital suits where you wear them and you can actually feel what's happening in the metaverse or in the digital where you can feel it physically. So these are all parts that IoT plays when it comes to the whole metaverse. And like I said, we're going to be towing the part of how can we, you know, start positioning or doing things in alignment to how to get into the metaverse. Like I said, it's a huge ecosystem. So for developers, for designers, um, for graphics people, for animators, for illustrators, a whole lot of that ecosystem needs to now transition into the digital or the metaverse. Now, if you don't know, I think is it Nicki Minaj or Cardi B? One of them has already done a metaverse concept or a digital world concept, right? Um, I think it featured in Fortnite. Now, so for those that are into graphics, animation, and all that, there is that whole line of roles and jobs where celebrities and people are like, hey, I want to have a digital persona, right? Not avatars. I mean, yeah, avatars are there, but people want to have, a full blown digital human that they can use in the metaverse. That's another area of, importance. Then, as of now, people are actually even selling properties and even selling stocks in the digital world. Actually, let me see if I can share something with you. It is called Air 2, all right? And this is the digital version of the Earth that some, the makers of it have started selling properties. So you can actually go to Earth 2 and buy, you know, portions of the digital Earth and own it as yours when it gets into the metaverse. All right. Let's see. Let's do this. Let me bring this here. So let's look for this. I think it is AR2, and that's just an example of what as you can see, people are buying and trading land on Etsy, which is digital. So I mean, in the digital space, as of now, nobody owns the digital rights to, let's say, where I'm streaming from, like in Ghana. Nobody owns the digital rights to it, right? So someone, as you can see, people are buying and selling. So you can actually buy the land, and sell it digitally. You know, um, let's see this. Let's check this out. there's a so-called video. This is just an example of um what's happening in the digital or in the metaverse as we speak. I mean, this is now, right? Let's see if that video plays
This is
with
how
the audio.
fast YouTube is with Brave.
No, we
Notice how
don't want
there's
all
no
the
pre-roll
ads. So let's
ads?
just
And
skip
here's how
the
you
ads. There you go. Let me make this video a bit all right. So as you can see, that is at 2. All right. And like I mentioned, so what they're saying is that they've actually um, dimensioned the world into 10 by 10 meters square, and they are selling that out. So people are buying those spaces in popular areas and then kind of trading them. So digitally trading. And if you look at the ticker at the top there, like people are buying $10, which is 1,000 and 6%. There's like Spain, China, Japan. There's some international territories, Abu Dhabi. Um, People are actually buying. Like so, they're trading land digitally. All right. So that's kind of like the next dimension. That's the next dimension where the physical meets, the digital. And IoT has always played, between those lines where the physical thing, meets the digital, and that's where digital twins also come in. So, like I said, a large chunk of the rest of my series or shows from, with the exception of Power Series, so from IoT and Demystified Tech, we're going to see how AIoT, which is AI, IoT, and the technology that is making this whole metaverse, digital world, digital twin, all this ecosystem, to function properly. All right. Um, let's also take a look at, like I mentioned, if you're a gamer and then you're playing, why have it's like just went blank. Yeah, Fortnite. Yeah. So if you played Fortnite, okay, if you played Fortnite as well, Fortnite is almost like its own um metaverse. And yeah, we can't talk about the metaverse and not talk about what Facebook is doing, rebranding and creating stuff like that. But there's also one company that I think we need to look at, or we need to be, on the watch for, which is Nvidia. Now, Nvidia, we all know, GPU graphics card, but what Nvidia is also doing in the back end as part of, fueling all these metaverse, digital omniverse kind of thing, is they're building set of tools and platforms that allow creators, that allow all of us to build or to transition or to how do we say um to develop or build into the metaverse quite easily and seamlessly. In subsequent episodes, I'm talking about them and then some of the technologies and tools that they've created to do that. I'll be sharing some of them on my streams. You'll probably see how those works. So again, so this Fortnite, if you played Fortnite, that's also sitting in the line of the metaverse and stuff like that. Now, another thing also, and again, it's not surprising that with all this in line, Microsoft is bringing in, mesh into Teams where you can have, like presence. If you've used Alt Space before, right? Let's see. Alt space. Yeah, alt space VR. Now, this allows you to have um, virtual, virtual events, right? So, if you have the app, you can go for virtual concerts in there using any of this. If you have an HTC Vive, you have an Oculus, or Windows Mixed Reality, which is the HoloLens and stuff like that. We'll be also doing some HoloLens stuff. So, um, I can assure you that going forward, all the channel is going to be packed because we got the HoloLens, we have the Oculus, we have a lot of things. We have the tools and resources that are positioning us that we can really talk about, we can practice, we can build solutions that are metaverse or the digital world ready. So I can only, encourage you to keep coming back to the channel. Um, Share, like, subscribe, share your comments. Let me know what you want to see in the content. Let me know what topics or what points interest you so we can, deep dive into it. We're bringing a roundtable topics or discussions back again. So from time to time, you would have the Ask Me Anything session, which will probably be ending of the month. Um, so ideally, this should have happened. I think it would happen probably on Friday, where you can ask me any question on all the tech ecosystems that I talk on, and then also we can have a roundtable discussion talking about how tech is affecting our everyday lives and stuff like that. So that is the little I wanted to say about the metaverse, IoT, what to expect on the show. Um, Before we leave for the night, for the day, for the afternoon, wherever you find yourself, let's do a little unboxing. Um, and then we can, close that off. So let's go to the bench. All right. So if you were with me, I don't know if you can see this well, but it's already taking out from the box. And yeah, apologies when we say unboxing, it's supposed to be in the box for you to unbox and stuff like that. But my friend brought this for me, and to make it easy for him to carry, he actually had to take it out of the box and put it in his bag. So yeah, just apologize for that. So we're going to do unboxing this way. So like I say, but I mean, there isn't anything to miss it when you take it out of the box. It's just the camera kit and this USB to USB Type C to regular USB cable here for charging and for connecting to it. So this here is the AI camera by Altec. All right. This is an edge device. Let me do it this way. Yeah. So here, this is a camera. All right, that has is an edge camera. Well, that you can deploy AI modules from the Microsoft um, cognitive services and Microsoft IoT on the edge. You can you can deploy modules right onto the camera. So things like object detection, things like face detection, all that. You can actually deploy that directly onto this, and then it will run locally from. They can do all the inference locally from this. So it pretty much this is how it came, all right, like this. So I'm sure if you want to power it, you probably just just connect it like this, and then you power it. But let's look at let's look at the spec sheet for this. Let me pull this up. And yeah, if you're looking at the side here, that's our Azure Percept Dev Kit, the audio module, sorry, the camera module, the audio. So now take a look at this. So this um this module, this dev kit has been around for a while, way before the Azure Percept dev kit came in. All right. So you can see the brain box of the Percept. You can see the camera module also for Percept, and then here you can see the audio module or speaker array, microphone array for the Percept as well. Now, this pretty much has all this in one, right? But in terms of power, we're going to look at it. This might be running a more modern spec compared to this. So let's go look at let's open the spec for this, and then we can check that out. So let's do this. So let's go to the bench while that is loading. Yeah. So let's see. So if you have any questions, uh, just hit me with it, and I will try to answer that. Trying to get the specs out here for us. Yeah, it's a fishing AI update from. Well, it was actually one of the things that Asha. Yes, yes, we are finally back. uh, welcome, Key Edward. Edwin, yeah, we're finally back on the show. So let's see. I'm trying to find the spec sheet for it. Let's see. Yeah, it's taking a while, but don't worry, I'll pull it up. We will pull it up. Okay, there you go. There you go. There you go. All right. So let's check this out. All right. So let's bring two so we can get it in there. Yep. Yeah. So this is the spec sheet for it. So it's running Yocto Linux. It's Qualcomm QCS603. Has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Has got an 8 megapixel 4K Ultra HD camera. The all-in-one was released earlier than the separate. Yes, 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 Edward. Yeah. So this is much earlier. This was the early days of um. So there's another one called the Azure Kinect, right? It's not the one on the shelf. That one started with the Xbox, but they rebranded it, and it's just a depth camera, which you can use to do a lot of depth, thermal stuff. Yeah, this is much earlier. This came earlier before the Percept. And what you're seeing on the screen now is the specs for the AI dev kits, this vision dev kits, the one you're seeing here. So it's running eMMC 16 gigabyte of eMMC, LPDDR RAM of 4. It has got a speaker mic, line in, line out, 4 times mic array. Um, no, yeah, you can use Ethernet if you have an adapter. I have an Ethernet adapter I can use on it. It also, let's see, I think this one, I'm not sure if this has. Yeah, okay, has. Okay, yeah, it does. Yeah, so it also has a slot for an SD card where you can also use, and then has LEDs, three LEDs in the front, and then HDMI. Yeah, so we can switch to the bench and look at those, like I mentioned. So these are the three on the front side. You can see the three LEDs here. That's the camera. That's the speaker here, and then if we flip back, you can see the microphone and speaker out in and out, and then the HDMI and the USB Type C connector at the back. All right. Yeah. So and the cool thing is that beneath it is also is magnet. Is a magnet, so I can easily just um, attach it to any magnetic surface and then it would mount. One of the things I was planning to do with both the Percept and this would be running some object detection in my car. So I'll create the module, download it onto this, and then just power this and place it on the dashboard of my car, and then drive around to see, the way it detects objects and stuff like that. Um, for the dev kit as well, like I say, I think this packs Azure Percept packs a lot more punch to this. All right. And yeah, I mean we can always compare that. So it's not a big deal. So let's look at it. Yeah, so if you have any questions on that, and the cool thing, one clarification is initially we always thought this this thing you're seeing here, the Azure Percept one, this whole thing is Azure Percept. But it's been clarified that it's not the whole thing that is the Percept, the dev kit, but what's running on the hardware is Azure Percept. It's the module that is Azure Percept. So which means that And that I think that is available. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but you could get Azure Percept and deploy locally in your instance if you don't have internet access and stuff like that. So um, let's see. I'm trying to also pull the specification for the Azure Percept so that we can compare that to it. Yeah, so let's see other hardware components. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you can actually do a lot of stuff. So we started with the Azure Percept before we went on the long break. We're going to resume it. So we're going to do the Azure Percept series for setting it up, downloading a model onto it, running some object detection using the voice commands. We're going to do all that, and then we'll jump back onto the AI Vision Kit as well. So I just wanted to show you this. We've unboxed this on the show today, and then we'll be seeing more of this in subsequent streams, going forward. Um, yeah, I think pretty much that's all I wanted to share um, in today's session. If you have any questions, um, don't forget to hit me up. Just you can tweet at me at sadrani. If you have any questions concerning IoT, AI, mixed reality, the whole Azure technology stuff, hit me on any of my social handles. I'm easy to find. Please make sure you subscribe, you like, you share, so you can grow the channel. And thanks to all those that are supporting me as well. I'm really grateful for that. Some of these things don't come easy, they don't come cheap. So thank you so much for some of your support. Um, until I come your way again next week, Tuesday, with another episode of IoT Tuesday. Make it with me on Friday for Azure, sorry, Demystified Tech. We're going to unbox something cool. Stick with me. If there's anything, reach out. Until then, be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. No, it's not a weekend. Why am I in a hurry for the weekend? Enjoy your day, enjoy your evening, enjoy your morning. Be blessed. And then catch you